Chiefs Kingdom, what's up? Gary McKenzie back at you again, another episode of Gridiron Lines. And I'm going to take my glasses off and look at the Chiefs team through my own eyes as though I have never watched a down of Chiefs football prior to the 2023 season. So I'm coming in with an open mind, and I want to ask the question, who are the 2023 Kansas City Chiefs? So, want to do this acting like I've never seen the Chiefs play. I don't know they've won multiple Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. And kind of as a conscious observer, the Chiefs team looks like a well-rounded unit. This is a group that has the 9th most points per game in the NFL, and a group that has allowed the 5th fewest points. So if I were coming into the season without any recollection or any knowledge of this team, I would think that this Chiefs unit is a defensive unit. This is a defensive team that runs the ball well. Seems like they have a pretty good quarterback who's made some bad interceptions, but is playing otherwise pretty well. And it's the defense that's making this team tick. Now, we all know what happened in the past with the Chiefs offense, but they just haven't hit that gear yet. And being a person who just came into this situation, knows nothing about the Chiefs in the past, I'd look at their numbers, I'd look at the team play and think, yeah, this is a team that has a championship caliber defense, and you just need the offense to improve, and then maybe they'd be really good. Right now, the Chiefs team as a whole ranks, like I said, 9th in points per game, has the 3rd most yards, but they've turned the ball over a lot. So they have the 26th best turnover percentage. So there's only 6 teams who have turned the ball over more than the Chiefs this season. And then also, like I mentioned, the rushing attack. This team runs the ball well. So as a person who has not observed the Chiefs in the past, coming in totally blind, this is a defensive run the ball type team, which is an unusual configuration given that Mahomes is their quarterback. So if I was completely had no knowledge previously of this team, I would think this is a defensive running team that has a decent quarterback. But we all know, once I get rid of that weird notion that I haven't seen any football, we all know that's not the case. And Nick Wright says himself that if the Chiefs' biggest problem so far this season has been their passing game, then the rest of the NFL needs to look out, because Patrick Mahomes is the leader of that passing attack, and he has not had problems getting the ball down the field, scoring points, putting up huge numbers in the past. So the fact that this Chiefs team is able to run the ball as well as play good defense, oh boy, this is a really great situation for the Chiefs looking forward, especially if the offense can turn it around. Now, the Chiefs wide receivers has been an interesting collection of players making impact for this team, but it hasn't been one guy that jumps off the table at you. It's been a death by committee, and we said that in the beginning of the season that the Chiefs receivers, none of them would have over 1,000 yards except for Travis Kelce, but he's a tight end, so we're not including him in this mix. But if I asked you who is the leading receiver on this Chiefs team in terms of receiving yards, I bet that you wouldn't guess Justin Watson. So Justin Watson leads all Chiefs receivers, including the tight ends, in receiving yards with 163 yards receiving. The second receiver behind Justin Watson, the second wide receiver behind Justin Watson is Rashee Rice, and he has 140 yards. When he's been on the field, he's been making plays. He has had a bad case with the drops, but Coach Reid has said that the drops will improve. He'll work that out, and it'll get better as the season goes on. So this Chiefs unit doesn't have a single wide receiver that's coming up and making consistent play, consistently producing. They just don't have that. And so it's an interesting juxtaposition between the Chiefs and the Vikings, because the Vikings receiving core is just the opposite. They have one player, Justin Jefferson, who is just dominating for his team. He leads all the receivers on their team by a wide margin. He's got 543 receiving yards so far in the season, averaging 16.5 yards per reception. This is going to be a difficult matchup for the Chiefs, but the Chiefs do have a trick up their sleeve. They've got a hidden ace up their sleeve, and that hidden ace is Trent McDuffie, who's been making plays like this all season long. He's one of the top-rated cornerbacks according to PFF. So as we mentioned, Trent McDuffie is going to have his work cut out for him. If you saw Justin Jefferson's stats versus the Eagles, he saw a lot of Darius Slay, who's a very good cornerback, and he ended up with about 159, 160 yards receiving in that game. So this is a game where Trent McDuffie can truly showcase his talents. I don't think Spagnuolo will have him trail Jefferson around the field, but he's going to have opportunities to line up against Jefferson. And this is a game where Trent McDuffie needs to step up and show the NFL world who he is. This is a great opportunity. So both McDuffie and Snead need to play well in this game. I hope Joshua Williams doesn't have to line up against Justin Jefferson too often, but if he does, I'll keep my fingers crossed. The Minnesota Vikings as a team, as a whole, they're 16th in points per game offensively with the 9th most yards per game. Passing the ball, they do that very well. So Kirk Cousins has the passing game on lockdown. Very good quarterback. He has the 3rd most attempts, the 3rd most passing yards, the most passing touchdowns in the NFL. And he hasn't thrown too many interceptions this season. Let's hope that changes versus the Chiefs. And overall, though, the Vikings' weakness on offense is running the ball. They cannot run the ball well. They have not run the ball well this year. After Dalvin Cook left, that's left a huge void in that team's rushing attack, and so they're going to have a hard time moving the ball on the ground versus the Chiefs, and I believe this actually plays into the Chiefs' strength. I think the Chiefs' defense matches up well with the Minnesota Vikings' offense. I say that because the Vikings want to throw the ball a lot. Well, the Chiefs have pass rushers in Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, and Michael Dana. Each one of those players has gotten after the quarterback multiple times this season. They've got multiple sacks already on this young season. So the Chiefs' pass rush is going to be a strength in this game. And that if the Chiefs don't have to respect the run, that's just that much more. The Chiefs' defensive line can pin their ears back and really go after Kirk Cousins. In addition to that, the Chiefs' secondary, I believe, is the strength of this team. So Chris Jones is an incredible piece on the front 7 on the defensive line. You can move him around anywhere. He's going to generate pressure no matter what. But I think that this team's strength is in its secondary and in the depth in the secondary. How many of you remember watching the game maybe last week or the week before and asking yourself, who the heck is 27? Who's number 27? Who is this guy that keeps making all these plays? That player is Jamari Connor. So that's a mid to late round draft pick the Chiefs made in last year's draft. Yet another gem the Chiefs have found in the secondary that's contributing a good amount for a rookie on this defensive unit. But the Chiefs' strength is their secondary. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, Brian Cook, Justin Reed, all of them are making plays, and this is the strength of the Chiefs' defense. So the Chiefs' strength on defense is their pass defense, and this plays well into what the Vikings want to do. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson aren't going to get theirs in this game. They are. They're that good. But the point is for the Chiefs to limit the big plays and get off the field on 3rd down. 3rd down is immensely important on this game. In this game, you don't want the Chiefs to be seeing a lot of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and you don't want to see the Chiefs defense giving those up to the Vikings. So the goal is going to be to keep the Vikings behind the sticks while the Chiefs are on defense, force them into 3rd and long where the Chiefs can get their pass rush going, and then let their secondary go to work. You want the Vikings to be in obvious passing downs, and I think that because of this, the Chiefs' defense matches up well with the Vikings. Now, Last week, the Chiefs defense gave up the most offensive points that they've given up all season long to the Chicago Bears. They gave up 18 points. After 4 games, that's the most points the Chiefs defense has allowed in a game. That's incredible. So the Chiefs do have their work cut out for them. The Vikings are middle of the pack in terms of points scored per game, but they can throw the ball and they're good at passing touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, the Vikings defense is also middle of the pack to bottom of third of the league. They're 19th in points allowed. They're 20th in total yards. They don't force a lot of turnovers, and their passing defense is middle of the league, but they haven't faced a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes yet, and their rushing defense is awful. So this team is weak in terms of their rush defense, and they're not that great at pass defense either. And I also think this actually plays into the Chiefs' strengths as well. So obviously the Chiefs are great at passing the ball, but like we said at the beginning of this video, this is a different flavored Chiefs team this season. This is a defensive team that can run the ball and then has Mahomes as the piece that, they're still trying to figure things out with their wide receivers. But this should be a game where Isaiah Pacheco eats. If he cannot get things going on the ground, if the Chiefs can't get things going on the ground in this game, it might be a tough day for their team as a whole. I think that Pacheco's performance in this game will have a pretty good impact on how the game ends up finishing. So Isaiah Pacheco is one of my main players to watch in this game. And then who in the wide receiver group is going to step up? Every week it seems like it's somebody different. And if you ask me who I think the Chiefs' best group of players out on a passing play would be, I think they need to go with 2 tight end personnel, because Noah Gray and Travis Kelce seem to be guys that can catch the ball and do it with regularity, and they might be more consistent than some of their other options at wide receivers. So I would go with a lot of 2 tight end sets in this game, and then sprinkle in all the plethora of wide receivers the Chiefs have, trying to get someone to come out of that group and kind of snag that number 1 role. Who knows if the Chiefs will get there all year long? Andy Reid in the past has gone entire seasons without a true number 1 wide receiver and still found a lot of success. So I don't think that this wide receiver problem is going to be a nail in the coffin for the Chiefs offense. In fact, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all, because Andy Reid has done this many, many times through his career. Prior to having Tyreek Hill, he had a mishmash of wide receivers that he used at his disposal. In Philadelphia, there were years where gosh dang it, I can't remember the dang wide receiver's name. He was rail thin. I can't remember his name. Todd Pinkston. Thank you. Todd Pinkston was one of the leading receivers for the Eagles offense, and that Eagles offense still looked great, still was able to put forward a top 10, top 5 offense year after year. So I'm not concerned about the wide receiver problem. I'm concerned about Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson in this game. The Chiefs should be able to move the ball on the Vikings defense, and the Vikings, their offense matches up poorly versus the Chiefs defense, but you got to see it on paper. I thought the Chiefs defense was going to manhandle the Jets last week. So that was the team they gave up 18 points to. Sorry, I think I said the Bears earlier. But the Chiefs gave up 18 points to the Jets. They were kind of, roughed up by Zach Wilson a little bit in that game, and I would look for this week for the Chiefs to try to redeem themselves. Now, the Chiefs, I believe, are, let's see here, 4-point favorites on the road in Minnesota. I think this is a good Minnesota team, and the Chiefs seem to play better versus better opponents. So I am 4 out of 8 this year, still riding that 50% line, and I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game, and I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover. Let's try to get up on the winning side of things, but that's my prediction. I want to know what your prediction is down in the comments. What do you think the final score of this game is going to be? I think the Chiefs win 24-19. It's going to be a somewhat close game. Chiefs win, Chiefs cover. And then I also want to know, who do you think wins the battle between Justin Jefferson and Trent McDuffie? Who do you think is going to win that battle? Justin Jefferson is incredible. I want to see Trent McDuffie compete against him, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. That should be an awesome matchup between those two, and I'm really excited to see it. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win this game. What do you think the key players for the Chiefs are in this game? I think that on offense, it's Isaiah Pacheco. On defense, it's Trent McDuffie. But who are your key players? And then let me know, again, whether you think the Chiefs cover the spread. Do you think that the 4-point line is good enough? Or do you think it should be more in favor of the Chiefs, more in favor of the Vikings? And as always, make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We really appreciate it. Trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Can use all the help we get. We appreciate every single one of you. You guys and gals are the people that make this thing work, and you're the reason I do this. So I just want to say I love you and I appreciate you. And let's go Chiefs. Let's have a good win on Sunday. One last thing. I predicted the Chiefs to lose their first game versus the Lions and then to rattle off 8 wins in a row. So let's hope that continues. Let's go Chiefs. Let's make my prediction right. Let's go beat the Vikings. Go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.